guys, it's your boy Shane. Welcome back to a brand new video of the How to Take Care of Pets series, where today, guys, as you see, we're joined with Jacob. And if you guys haven't read the title of this video, we are going to be covering how to take care of Maltese, small dog, toy breeds, whatever you want to call them. And if you guys haven't known, Jacob is a toy breed. He is a Maltese himself, so I decided to incorporate him in the video, and to make him look a little fancy, I got him a little bow tie that he had for a few weeks now. So he's just gonna wear that, and he's just gonna wander around and throughout the video as I discuss a few things about him. Well, first of all, Maltese dogs originate from the country Malta in the Mediterranean area. For male Maltese, their heights go about 21 centimeters to about 25 centimeters. And for females, 20 to 23 centimeters, but obviously they can be a little bit more if they're properly taken care of. Jacob is roughly around, I would say, 21. I don't think he's beaten that range, but yeah. Their average weight for both of them stays around for 3 kilograms to 4 kilograms, and usually that's what you want to stay around when keeping them, to keep them in healthy shape, and yeah, to stay away from obesity and stuff like that. Some traits about them. I could go on about their traits, but the main ones I see in Jacob, a lot of Maltese will have, is they're very playful. Jacob is a very playful dog. Like, sometimes I'll find him alone playing with he has a rubber chicken, he likes to play with that. They're very fearless. Jacob is very alert, loyal, for the most part gentle, and they can be very active. Like, sometimes I'll take Jacob in the backyard, and he would just run around, or even run around the house. He likes to chase after people if they are running around. He would like to follow them. Like, for example, my sister, or even me sometimes, he would just wander around. Even if he's, like, really tired, he'll still try to make an effort. For food-wise, obviously, you guys want to keep it out of small dog food. Their teeth really can't handle the bigger dog food, or even the medium-sized dog. So to keep it safe, get the adult dog food. One that I use is Royal Canin. It's doing really good for him. No complaints at the moment. So yeah, it's really good. They need fresh water every day, but I mean, at the same time, I feel like that goes for every animal, whether it be a bird, cat, dog, whatever. They do need fresh water every day. As for, like, energetic wise, Jacob is very hyper, and a lot of Maltese definitely will have a lot of energy. So for walking routines, it's important that you take them on walks every day so they can burn out their energy. It also calms them if they're really hyper, because starting from puppies, they are very hyper. Going back on Jacob, when he was a puppy, he was very hyper. I remember the first time we brought him home, he ran around the house a little bit and then calmed down afterwards. So yeah, long walks, not really short walks, but walks in general to burn out the energy in these guys. But either way, they will still be alert. That's in their nature. They are alert dogs. Any quick noise that you make, even a tiny little tap, he'll sense it, or even like a light knock on the door, he'll definitely hear that. For grooming wise, grooming wise, I would say for females, or if you have a male Maltese and you keep his hair really long, they need to be brushed very often, especially if they have hair on their head that goes all the way down to the floor. Obviously, that's not with Jacob. Jacob has fairly short hair. We keep it short from the ears, from his head, even from his, like, body itself. he definitely has short hair. But for the longer haired Maltese, they definitely do need to have some common health issues with Maltese, and some of it I find in Jacob. Uh, I'll specify which ones. He has, well, Maltese in general, they have a lot of teeth issues, and they also have a lot of. What happens with Maltese is that with their teeth, I guess you could say some of their teeth is ingrown properly. So whenever they have food, it can't, go down as much. So, yeah, uh, the food gets stuck on their bottom teeth or even sometimes their top teeth. And what their teeth needs to do is they need to touch and kind of scrape away the tooth as they close their mouth and open their mouth. And that doesn't usually happen because sometimes they're either not born with that tooth or their tooth that tooth falls off at an early stage. So brushing their teeth is also good, or even getting a food that's good for their teeth. Like, for example, like I said again, Royal Canin. They have some foods for small dogs that are actually good for their teeth, and it actually helps them with their breath. That's another thing. Breath is also another thing. Sometimes they have bad breath because of their food that gets stuck, and yeah. Another thing that's really common in Maltese that I'm starting to learn now, that it's not just Jacob, it's actually a lot of Maltese, is going back on their tiering. Now, hey buddy. One thing I did forget to mention on this thing for regarding health problems, Maltese do have a case where they can, as they get older, they will get loose joints. And another thing is that they're also I'm gonna butcher this name and this for sure, but they're hypoglycemic, which, to basically sum it up, they lack sugar. So if you get a food, going back again, Royal Canin, I'm not saying definitely don't too overdo the food, the sugar with the food, but definitely get a food that has a little bit more sugar than um, the average food would contain. So as you can see on Jacob, he has that brown spots near his eye, and the reason why is because, well, one, his eyeballs, they definitely need to be brushed more often than obviously short-haired Maltese. Um, it's not short-haired Maltese and long-haired Maltese. It's not really two different species of Maltese. It's just basically the way you keep them. Like, Jacob could have long hair that could touch the ground if we let him, but obviously we trim it for him. And so yeah, like I said, for the longer haired ones, it's lots of brushing every day. For Jacob, his mats, he doesn't get tangled or mats as often when he has short hair, so once every 2 days is good for him. With these dogs, they also need gentle shampoos, and they also need gentle tear shampoos because, well, I'll get into it a little bit later, but for their eyes, they do like to tear up. Like, as you can see for Jacob right now, he has a lot of tearing, and I'll explain that why later. From the nails, their nails in the front grow very quick, quicker than the back legs. And the reason for it is because, well, for dogs itself, when they're walking, they don't use their front legs as much. They definitely push off from their hind legs, which is their back legs. So their nails are obviously grinded more at the back. So for nail trimming, I would say every month they need their nails trimmed. Or, yeah, every month. And then for their back legs, it's every other month kind of thing. Because, like I said, because from the concrete or whatever they're stepping on, that grinds their nails out. So it doesn't grow as quick or as long as if you were to compare it to his front legs. For him, stick out a little bit more than they're supposed to. That was just the way he was born. So, with that, it makes him struggle a little bit because the eyelid has to literally cover his whole eye and pop out a little bit. And another thing is that he doesn't have, well, actually he does, but a lot of Maltese do not grow up with tear ducts. And what that is, basically, in the corner of your eye, it allows your tear to basically escape. And what happens is, for these guys, it could either get clogged, or they just don't have it, and the tear doesn't escape as much as properly. And when they have it, and if they do have it, usually it's clogged. And what happens is that you could go for surgeries to get it done. We have done it in the past on Jacob once, but they did say it's not really anything you can prevent. It's just something that's going to keep happening. So, obviously, we're just trying to do it as much as I can. What we usually do is we trim the hair down, and like I said, using that Tear Gentle shampoo, we rub it on him. And basically what happens is that if it were to touch his eyes, it wouldn't burn his eyes, if that makes any sense. So we just do that for a couple of minutes with like a cloth or like something with a little bit of rough edges. And then it usually takes it out for like the few days, and then obviously to clean it up more, you would do it more often. Want to make sure that if you guys do have one, if you guys do have a Maltese, just be aware of that your Maltese could either grow up without tear ducts or just have tear ducts that are always clogged. Just some behavioral problems with Jacob that I know personally is that with him having so much energy, well, we take him on walks, yes, but for him, he's just a ball of energy. He could run for a while without getting tired, but and also some days we don't have that time or that luxury too. But I mean, on the weekends we definitely take him out. And he definitely burns off a lot of energy then. But during the week, he has a ball of energy. And with younger Maltese, they have that energy problem. But obviously, as they mature, like now Jacob's a lot calmer, and as they mature, they will become a lot calmer. And that's why I'm saying the walks. Now, finally, to go over the main thing that a lot of people ask is, are Maltese good family dogs? Now, they're yes and no, and I'll tell you why. Maltese, what can happen with Maltese is that they can have that one person that they're attached to, or they could have the whole family, they could be attached to the whole family. For Jacob, he's more so attached to, he's not really attached to the whole family, he's attached to a few people, like my sister, my mom, my brother-in-law, and my uncle, and me most of the time, and sometimes my dad. But what could end up happening is that if there's that one person that really plays with him that Maltese all the time, it would be attached. And when they become attached, they could have that problem of like being possessive over you. And what I mean by that is, I mean, like, if someone were to come near you and like, I don't know, just hang out, what sometimes they would think is that they would think that they're like the human itself, him or her is being threatened, and what will end up happening is they might jump in and attack or get aggressive or show some growling or any signs of aggression, really. And sometimes that happens with Jacob. Like, for example, even though he'll be attached to like everybody that I just listed, like let's say if I went and sit down next to my sister, sometimes if I do certain things, Jacob will definitely attack. But I mean, like I said, that's all really behavioral wise. You can train them as much as you want, but I mean, in the end of the day, really it all depends on the personality of your dog. That's basically all it comes down to. Now, I'm being as honest as possible, as honest as I can be right now. So, I mean, that's just with Jacob. We've definitely tried to snap him out of that type of thing, but I mean, it's just something that he does over and over again. But at the end of the day, Jacob, he's just an example that I have from my personal experience with Maltese. Jacob, as long as he gets acquainted with you and he sees you, not, well, I'm not saying he has to see you every day, but if he sees you frequently, he'll understand that you're friendly type thing, and he will be as playful and gentle as whatever. And so that's why I say he's kind of like not a good family dog, because obviously if you have younger kids, like, I don't know, toddlers or kids under the age of 4 or something like that, obviously there's going to be some boundaries that, toddlers are curious, little kids are curious, they're going to want to see. They're probably going to want to test that Maltese limits as like something. And that's where it can become a little bit of a no type thing. But if you have a kid that's over 9, or a kid that's more so understanding and knows how to deal with, or is a little bit like older, more responsible, kind of like maybe a 9-year-old, or maybe older, obviously older, but 9-year-old, or maybe a little bit younger, like a 8 or 7-year-old, then that's when they become a yes for a family dog, because obviously Maltese don't, there's certain limits they can take, but obviously if you had someone that was a little older, but obviously I mean not like an adult, but like, for example, like I was saying, 9-year-old, they would definitely know, obviously, not to really harass a dog like that, or they would be able to understand that the Maltese has limits. So realistically, in the end of the day, it all depends on really takes care of the dog. I mean, obviously, if certain people that really do help and like play with the dog or whatever, obviously they would be a good companion for the Maltese. Otherwise, if you just have people in the house that don't really pay attention to them, obviously they're not going to see them more as a person they can really hang out with, or someone they can bond with. To put it all in one sentence, it's who and how you bond with the Maltese. I mean, overall, for a small dog, Jacob is being pretty good. He's fun. He's playful. He's definitely, if I were to get another Maltese, I definitely would say yes. I wouldn't. This is my first dog and my first pet in general. I would say that he's pretty good. So take it from me, if you guys are looking for a small dog, definitely try the Maltese. And when they're small, they're very, very, very cute. Like, Jacob was 8 weeks old when we got him, and he was literally able to fit in the palm of your hand, one palm of your hand. So I mean, yeah, I guess that wraps it up for. So I'd say that wraps it up for this video. Hope you guys did learn a lot about the Maltese dog. And let me know if you guys do have one. If not, let me know what dog you guys do have, if you guys have a dog. And tell me about your dog in the comment section below. If you guys have any other questions, obviously you can leave them down in the comments below. I will respond. And yeah. Hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, guys.
Instagram.
Wow.
Did you see me?
No.
You didn't make a video?
Yes.
Wow, you didn't want a daily lesson from the fish stock? Wow, that would have been funny, man. That would make it like million views for that, man.
So yeah. So yeah, we're going back on the tear ducts. You guys just